Marriage and family therapy is an approach to therapy whereby relationships are privileged. So whether you're an individual, a couple, or a family, whatever's brought you into the office will be looked at in the context of your relationship.
It's such a vulnerable thing when people let you into their lives. These are the things that I'm most worried about. These are the things that I'm most scared about. These are the things that I don't let other people see. It's really an incredible feeling for somebody to let you in on that process and to get to be a partner in that process.
We see things such as health, illness, loss, trauma, and personal experiences in the context of relationships.
If a client comes in and they have depression, how does my depression affect the way that I'm communicating with my family, with friends, with a significant other, and how does their support help me deal and to cope with some of the different problems that I have?
The typical way that treatment works is people come in, they're struggling with some sort of problem. We take a look at that in terms of what relationships are informing that situation. In understanding the context, it then gives us an idea of what could change in terms of how they're trying to solve the problem that might make it possible for it to resolve effortlessly.
The holistic approach is beneficial because to me it's an act of radical hospitality. Someone comes in and they're going to share something that's often deeply personal, and maybe they haven't told anybody about it before.
It isn't uncommon for me to work with individuals. Certainly I work with a lot of couples, I work with a lot of families. I think one of the beauties of marriage and family therapy is that we can also think about families that extend beyond those that are in our home. We think about our work families. I work a lot with providers and their own self-care.
I am, as part of my education and my training, trained in a number of the different diagnoses, things like depression, anxiety.
I think that's the difference between marriage and family therapy and other kinds of therapists, is that we're always conscious of who's in your life, who's not in the room.
When people call us as marriage and family therapists, they realize that whatever it is that they're facing, that they do not and cannot face it alone.
Even if we're working with an individual, we're thinking about that person in context. How does their situation, how does their circumstance, how does their suffering make sense in terms of what's been happening historically? And then understanding the contextual complexity of that, we look for how to introduce some kind of difference in that so that people aren't trying to continue making efforts that aren't helpful.
We live, I think, in an individualistic society, and in so many different ways we're isolated. But if we connect everybody back into relationships, I think that that really sustains the individual to grow and to develop and to achieve their highest potential.